See how our Monday's going to go here today. I'm getting a new computer today, so I'm watching for the computer guy to tell him, "Hey, not now. I got class." But yeah, gonna trade this one in for a newer model. Because one thing we do here for sure in virtual is we put these computers through the ringer. Right. I did get a new monitor on Friday because mine quit working last week. I don't know. It's like I have multiple monitors here, so I can keep everything straight for our virtual. And one of them quit working last week. So I had one monitor in my computer, and it's like, wait a minute, this monitor is the one that I always present in class, and it's the closest one to where I do the work on paper sometimes. So needed that working. I did make it to the movies. We went and saw the Downton Abbey finale, the Downton Abbey movie. Uh, we bought tickets like last Tuesday for the Friday. It opened Friday was the first day for like the 3:30 in the afternoon. So most people still be at work. I get out here at 2:45, so we were able to make a 3:30 movie. Uh, and when we bought the tickets on Tuesday, it was full. We had to sit in the front row because all the rows were filled except for the front row. So we got tickets in the front row, and we got there at 3:30 Friday afternoon, and we were the youngest people in the theater. I walk in and there's like a sea of silver out there. I see all these people's heads back there, all this gray hair, just a sea of. I'm like, okay, that's kind of what I expected. But we were the youngest people in the theater, my wife and I. So the movie got out, and I said, we better hurry if we're going to get to Denny's. So no, I was just kind of joking. All the old folks, it was too late. So they probably had dinner before 3:30, since the movie started at 3:30. They didn't wait till afterwards. But it was just kind of funny. A sea of silver. All right, we're going to get started. We've got some stuff to look at today. Oh, and the first thing I want to look at today is last week was our first program, and a lot of you guys nailed it. Man, it was awesome. But some of you struggled. Somewhere you did not pay attention to the directions, or you got confused, or you didn't read something, or you didn't pay attention in class last week when I went over exactly how to turn this in. Because some of you turned in uh, screenshots instead of giving me your program. Some of you just copied and pasted your program instead of saving it and giving me your program. Some of you did not finish the post-mortem review questions. There was a variety of things. So we're going to look this week at how we were supposed to have done this last week, just so we could all be on the same page. So the first thing I'm going to start with is the template, because we all need to know where the template is. So for our programs, because we're going to have a lot of programs. So right from the beginning, I want to address this. Going to the template from last week. Last week, let's see, this week 5 was last week. Right here in Google Classroom, I put the assignment. Anytime we have a program to write, any and every time we have a program, I will have a template for you here. Now, this time, and I may do it the next time as well, I added this little link in here on how to write, run, and save programs, which some of you did not save your program and turn it in. And some of you left out some of the stuff you're supposed to have in your program, which if you would have watched this 2-minute video, well, it says 1 minute, but it's 1 minute and 56 seconds or something like that. When you click on that, it opens up this little video window for you, and 1 minute, 56 seconds, and it goes through everything that you should do to write, run, and save your program. And so when you watch that, it goes through, it tells you at the beginning, put your comments with your name, date, and the purpose of your program. Some of you left off those comments. You have to have your name. This is every single program. Name, date, and purpose of the program. Then you should have your define main function. We're always going to have a main function. If you didn't write the define main function, you missed some of the required steps. Which you have your define main function, then you indent, you see 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4. You indent everything that's part of your main function, which for this program, we'll talk about, it was supposed to be 5 print statements. Some of you didn't get 5 print statements. And then when you're done with your main function, you go here and you put this command, which this says, okay, I'm done. Go ahead and run the main function now. That's how you end your program, with this right here. So it says, okay, I'm done. So now I'll go ahead and run that. Then, so they added some more stuff on this video, just showing how to do input statements, which we haven't done last program. But when you're done, where's it get to? There's this save button over here on the right, save. And this video shows how when you save that, and it clicks on the save, it will save it for you as, oh yeah, that's I should show that part too. It'll save it as a Python idle zip file. This is what you turn in, this Python idle zip file. And of course, if you've saved a few of them, it may say Python idle 2, Python idle 3, whatever the number is. Turn that in Buzz. This is your program. You should send me this file. And if you want to check your work, this is good. This is good here, because this is where people struggle too. It's like, did it save my file? I don't know if it saved my file. If you're in idle and you hit this choose a file button, here's what happens. You hit choose a file, then you go choose that file right there and say open. So click on that file and hit open. It will reopen your program back in the programming window. Oh, that was great. I wanted to look at my program, but I already saved it and it was gone. Choose file, go back and select that zip file, and it will reopen your program so you can see it again. That's what I do with it. You send it to me and I go and I open it in idle, and I have your program, and I can run your program, and I can look at your program, and I can see everything you did. It's right there. So that's how you save your program, and that's how you can reopen your program, by hitting that choose file button. But I put this video in here, and I'm going to say a lot of you didn't watch this video because you left out stuff. You didn't save your file. You didn't do anything along that. And the template had all the directions. If you didn't use the template, that costs you points too. Because use the following guidelines to write your program. It says right there in bold. Use idle. Make sure you have your name, date, and short description. That's line 2 right there. Line 2 it says use descriptions. Decide on what you want to play. Set up your define main statement. Use at least 5 print statements. Conclude with the main statement. This detailed everything out right here, and some of you didn't get it. And it should look something like that. That's just the 5 print statements. And then you have to go answer these questions. This is worth 20 points of your 100 points for the program. 20 of it is answering these questions afterwards. Right? And it's not like I'm looking for an exact answer. You just tell me what you think the purpose of your program was. Tell me how you think it could be useful. Tell me what you ran into. Maybe you didn't run into problems, but some of you ran into problems because you left stuff out. But just answer that and describe something you do differently. The 4 questions. But make sure when you go here, let's go to the printing strings. This is where you go and you hit the file button and you go find where is that zip file. It's like, okay, let's see if I still have any. Yeah. Oh, I deleted my downloads because I'm about to get a new computer. But anyway, you would find that zip file and attach it. Right? Once I choose that file, it'll say upload. I can upload that file right there. And then make sure that I filled out this, the template, and you can share this file too. You can just click the share button to where I've got that, and you can attach that Google file too. You can attach your template if you want to right here. Now, if you don't attach the template here, that's fine. You can just say template in Google Classroom, just to remind me to go look in Google Classroom, because you should turn this in Google Classroom, right? That's where you have that template at. But that's the 2 things you should have. You should have the program file, and you should have filled out the questions on the template and turned that in. So some of you guys missed part of that, part of the other. I tried to give you comments. Some of you, I gave you a video explaining what you did wrong. If it was more than just, if it's just one thing you missed, it's easy for me to just put a comment on your template. Hey, you left this out. If there's multiple things you did, if I type all that, you're not going to read it. It may get confusing if I'm typing a whole bunch. It's easier just to make a quick video and say, look, you need to do this, you need to do that. You did that, or you didn't do that. And sometimes I'll make a video when you get 100% just to give you tips and say, man, I really like your program, but let me show you something. And then I'll, give you a tip on how to program better. So just because you get a video doesn't mean you've really bombed anything necessarily. But sometimes it's just easier to give you a video than to try to type 14 paragraphs that you're not going to read or you're going to not understand because there's so much there. But make sure you're getting everything turned in. I have to have the program file. If I can't run your program, I can't grade your program. I need your file that you save there. I need your code. A screenshot, I can't run a screenshot. So don't give me a screenshot. I don't need a screenshot of your output. You can include a screenshot of your output if you want to, but I don't need that because I'm going to run your program and I should get the same output. So I'll see that when I run your program. That's not as critical a thing. But I just wanted to go over that to start class because there's people struggle with that. And just want you to remember that you have access to videos. I have this same video up the top, Mr. Brock's how-to series on programming. When you click on that, it will take you to a playlist on YouTube that has several videos that can help you as you go throughout the year. If you forget how to do something, if there's something you need to tip on, this maybe, and these like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 3:48, 4:20, 3:25. These are short videos. There's that video that I included this week, how to write, run, and save programs in idle. What every program should include. That would be a good one to watch. How to do a print statement, how to use variables, input statements. So here's several videos, and I'll add more as I need to. But don't forget, you have that. If you're struggling on how to write something, see if I have a video on it. If not, email me. Mr. Brock, I'm trying to do this. I don't know how to do that. If you're having errors in your program, come see me or email me your code. Copy and paste. You can save that program file and send it to me in an email and say, I'm having an error on line 11. Or if you're just going to email me, you can copy the code and paste it into an email. Either way, I don't care. But just want to make sure you guys understand how to get this done right. So, all right, let's start our lesson for the week. We don't want to run out of time. We're not getting through this. We should have the program turned in. So this week we have 1.04, processing string values. String values, 1.04. Let's take a look at that. And by the way, a lot of you did great on the program, nailed it. I'm just trying to help everyone who struggled with some things just to get us off to a good start for the year here. Legos are great. Lots of Legos are awesome. And while some things are great on their own, putting them together makes them a force to be reckoned with. Lego is a lot more fun when they're put together, right? Just a bunch of Legos laying separately is not nearly as much fun. So the same applies to strings in programming. You can pull them apart, you can put them together, and the awesomeness ensues. After completing this lesson, you'll be able to assign string literals to variables with meaningful names, use concatenation to join string literals, use slicing or indexing to extract characters from a string literal, use a print statement to display information to the screen. So we got to hurry. We got 30 minutes here. String values and variables. In 2014, Warner Brother Pictures released a Tom Cruise action movie based on a Japanese light novel, and they had some trouble deciding on the title. I've seen this movie. At first, they went with the name of the book. The book was called All You Need Is Kill, which is really not good English, but it was a Japanese light novel, so that's probably a translation. All you need is kill. Now, our brains take information like this, and they can store that easily. We create a variable in our minds called, oh, this is the movie title, and we give it a string value, which is letters, numbers, symbols, whatever makes up a string. Like, all you need is kill. So, all right, that movie's coming out. It's called All You Need Is Kill. But then Warner Brother Pictures realized audiences didn't like that title. because it's kind of awkwardly said. So they changed it. Suddenly, movie title had a new string value. Then it was called Edge of Tomorrow. So when they released it in theaters, audiences still didn't like the new name, so they changed it again. So I saw it in theaters as Edge of Tomorrow, but then when it came out on DVD and Blu-ray, it's now called Live, Die, Repeat. And sometimes it said Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. So the movies had like 4 names. They keep changing the name. And while our human brains are great, we can only remember so much, and that's where computers can be helpful. So programming languages like Python are able to store these string values for us when we might forget them. Like, yeah, I forgot it had 4 titles. And then later we can ask Python to, hey, what was that movie title again? Bring it back. So let's learn how to assign values to variables. So let's say you need to remember some information, the way moviegoers try to remember the name of the movie. Instead of storing it in your human memory, you can store it in your computer's memory. This is called assigning a string value to a variable. So this is how it works. First, you need a title, a variable name. You need something you're going to call your variable. In this case, we're calling it movie title. And notice you don't put spaces in there because that would think Python would think it's 2 different things. If this is one variable name, it needs to be one word, which means we take 2 words and we put them together. And when we do that, we capitalize the T, movie title, because that makes it easy to read. Equals tells Python, hey, I'm going to assign a value to this variable. I got this variable called movie title, and I'm going to give it a value. And here's what I'm giving it. Live, period, space, die, period, space, repeat, period. I put that in quotes. I say, this is literally what I want to store in that variable. So movie title will equal literally this in quotation marks, this string literal. So this line of Python code is an example of an assignment statement. It assigns a value to a variable. The value on the right of the equal sign is assigned to the variable on the left. So you tell Python this variable is assigned this string value. So let's look at this sample program here, Python guided activity. Read the code, try to predict the output, select run. Okay, this is a comment. Remember, comments are a hashtag, a pound symbol. Define main, there's our main function. There's where our main function ends and it runs. Movie title equals Edge of Tomorrow. And when we run that, that's great. It didn't print anything because we didn't put a print statement, but it assigned Edge of Tomorrow to the variable movie title. Let's look at the next slide. Next slide's exactly the same, except we've added print movie title. And we have to type it exactly like we did there. No spaces, capital T, movie title. And when we run the program, oh, look, now it prints it to the screen, Edge of Tomorrow, because that's what it saved in this variable. And when we printed that variable, it printed what that variable was equal to, which was this literal string value, Edge of Tomorrow. Okay, let's look at the next one. Now we've got movie title equals Edge of Tomorrow. Print that. And then let's change what movie title equals. Now movie title equals Live, Die, Repeat, because now we're going to release it on DVD. Print it again. This is exactly the same statement as line 5. Print movie title, print movie title. The only difference is we've changed what it equals. So when we run it, first time it prints Edge of Tomorrow. The second time it prints Live, Die, Repeat. That makes sense? Yeah, that's what this equaled the first time we printed it. And then we changed the value by just, again, putting the name with an equal sign and say, now it equals this. All right, let's look at our 4th slide. Read the code, try to predict the output, select run. Okay. Movie title equals Edge of Tomorrow, print movie title. Now, think about this. We put movie title in quotes. What do you expect the output to look like? Think about that a moment. What should we see down here when we run this program? will it say Edge of Tomorrow? It did on the last program. What do you think, Reagan?
Maybe it would say movie title because there's
Oh,
quotes
because there's
around it.
quotes. Let's run it. Yeah, you nailed it. It says movie title because that's what we told it to literally print to the screen. Literally print the word movie title. So that's what happens if we put it in quotes. So when we want to print a variable, we don't want the variable name in quotes, or that's what it's going to print us. It printed us the variable title. So let's remove those. Let's take those quotes off. Now, this is probably what we wanted to start with. We wanted it to print Edge of Tomorrow. So yeah, don't make that mistake. That's just a little learning thing to say, oops. All right, now we have first name equals Augusta, print first name. Okay, it did. And what they want us to do is to write code to assign values to the variables middle name and last name. Okay, so down here we'll say middle name. And you can try this too because you've got access to this lesson with these different code program guided activities. The name to use is Augusta Ada Lovelace. So we're putting Ada as the middle name, and then last name equals Lovelace. Oh, I got to put that in quotes because I literally want to equal that. And then write print statements to display each name. Okay, so we printed the first name. Let's print middle name. Let's print last name. And then it has our main statement down at the bottom. Run program. Ada, Augusta, Ada Lovelace. See, we assigned variables and then printed the variable. Awesome job. You've assigned values to variables, and now you have a better understanding of how Python reads these statements. So this is good. Come see if you can do this on there. After class, come in, go to page 2 and see what it tells you to do and practice writing code. This is where you practice. All right, that's slide 5 of 5. Let's go to page 3. Let's talk about naming variables. So, like most things in life, asking to borrow the car, impressing somebody you like, there are rules and good practices to keep in mind when you're naming variables. So the rules are these make sure Python can process your instruction correctly. So when we're talking about rules, this is what you have to do for it not to create an error, because these are the rules that Python uses for variables. Good practices just make life easier. May not create an error in Python because you followed the rule, but you make it harder to read your program later. So let's look about the rules. Do. Here's the do's. Do begin variable names with a letter or an underscore. Like we could say movie as a name. We could say movie title. We could say underscore movie title. Those are all do's. Those are rules that Python will understand. After the first letter, note after the first letter, you could put numbers like movie title 1. But don't put one movie title. Don't put it at the beginning, put it afterwards. Here's some do nots. Do not give variable names. Oh, do not. Variable names may not be any of Python's keyword. Like don't call a variable print. Print equals this. Main equals this. Don't use any of the commands that Python uses and try to use it as a variable because Python will give you an error. I can't make print equal to a something. I can print something, but I can't use print as a variable. And when you click on that, it'll open up a list of keywords. So you can't call something finally. You can't call something from. You can't call something else. You can't call something and or class. Any of these words will give you an error because these are Python commands. So don't name your variable one of those commands. Variable names may not contain spaces. Movie space title. That will give you an error. Variable names may not contain punctuation. We can't say movie title exclamation mark. That will give you an error. So do's and do nots for namings. Now, here's good practices. Won't cause you an error, but this just helps things. Camel case, and we'll use this word a few times throughout the semester. When a variable name contains two or more recognizable words or phrases, like movie title or new car, you should use camel case style convention. With camel case, you do not capitalize the first word, but you capitalize every word that follows. And you don't put any spaces. This is camel case. Like this down here. New car that I want when I finally graduate. Look how every C, T, I, W, W, I, F, G. Every word is capitalized except for new at the beginning. That's written in camel case. So new car is a good example. New car is a bad example. Nothing's capitalized. Is that supposed to be one word called nuker? New car? New car? Or is that two words? Make sure it's a meaningful name. Use a meaningful name to avoid confusion. The name should be self-explanatory. If I have a variable called new car, I kind of know what it's going to represent. It's going to represent the name of a new car or something about a new car. But if I have a variable that's called DSA, DSA, DAS, DAS, okay, I have no idea what you're using that variable for. I have this tells you nothing when you look at it. It's like what is that? This I know what it is. This no clue. Make sure it's a reasonable length. Keep variable names to a reasonable length. Like new car is fine, but new car that I want when I finally graduate, you don't want to have to use that variable over and over and over again. That's crazy. Don't make it really long. Just make it long enough to explain what it needs to say. And use nouns. This is again, none of this Python's fine if you want to use this variable here. Not a rule. This is just good practices. Like new car is great, but drive so fast, new car. Okay, that's really not good practice. Again, Python's fine with it, but we're talking about good practices. So, all right, drag and drop names into this. So, which of these variable names are valid, and which ones are invalid? All right, we're gonna go through this pretty quick because time-wise. First name. Right, give a thumbs up if you think that's a valid. Thumbs down if you think it's not valid. First name, there's no spaces. The N is capitalized, but not the F. You like that? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up. Hello. That is a valid name. First name. Yeah, first name's good. How about time? Can we call it time? Think not? Let's see. No, time's fine. We can call a variable time. How about class? Oh, now class, if you remember, see, it doesn't have to be more than one word. It could just be one word. All right, thanks. Class is one of those key words that it told us we can't use. That is a Python command. So something I need to know on this, Rado? All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Zip code. ZIP space CODE. Is this a valid variable name? Zip code. No, there's a space in there. That's the first problem. The first problem is there's a space that's going to give us an error. How about city and state? City and state, that has two spaces in there. Two spaces in there. That's never going to create an error. By the way, that was the IT guy bringing me my new computer here. So I got my new computer. Sales tax. Can we have a variable called sales tax? We can have a variable called sales tax, but not like this. We need to take the space out, and a space in there creates an error. How about amount due? Is that valid? Is that going to create an error with Python, or is that good? Amount due? Yeah, amount due should work. That's valid. First name. 1ST, first name. No, I see thumbs down. Kaylee's on top of this. She's going to do well with programming. Don't put a number at the beginning. That's not a good valid name. Random value. 2 words, no space. capital V, no capital R, random value. Random value should be fine. Sum. Was sum one of those? Where did I have that? We can't use that. That may have been on the last page. I didn't want to. I don't remember if sum is one of the commands or not. If it's not a Python command, let's see. It's not. It's not a Python command, so we can use sum. So you can use just one word. That's fine, as long as it's not like print or class or main or something that's a Python command. All right, let's go to page 4. String operations. So while assigning and printing strings can be super exciting, trust us, it gets old fast. What's next? String operations. So we can do things like concatenate, indexing, and slicing. You're like, what is concatenating? That means putting things together. Putting 2 or more things. Take 2 Legos and put them together into one Lego. You just concatenated the 2 Legos and made one Lego. So concatenation, combining 2 or more string values to form a single one. And we use the plus symbol to make this happen. So let's look at examples here. This is the greatest way to learn things. Just go play with these Python guided activities. I want to know what a concatenation is. So here's an example. If I have one variable called word, and it has the word mother, and I have another variable called word2, this word1 and word2 is my variable names. And this one's called board. And if I print word1 plus word2, look what it gives us. Motherboard. It just put them together, word1 plus word2, and made motherboard. So that's concatenation. We take 2 things, we put them together. If we wanted it to be 2 words, but print together, if we put a space after mother inside the quotes, now it'll say motherboard because that space is part of the word mother. So if we're trying to put a sentence together and, we may want to put spaces inside our quotes, depending on how we want to print. But this, we want the word motherboard, which is part of a computer, a motherboard. Let's look at the next example. Word1 is mother, word2 is board. And look, we took word3 and we said word3 is going to equal word1 plus word2. So we concatenated word1 and word2 and we stored it in another variable and we just print that variable. Run program, motherboard. There it is. Sweet. Just store it in a variable. So we don't have to concatenate it. Every time we want to use the word motherboard, we don't have to concatenate it. We can just store it in a third variable. Now what's happening? Same thing here, motherboard, and add them together to be motherboard. But in our print statements, we're concatenating. We're saying the original words are, and look, we put a space, and then we're printing that variable. We're printing word1, and then we're concatenating again and say, I want to put the word and in between word1 and word2 because I'm printing word2 again. I want the word and, but I want to put spaces in front of and after and. So it looks right when I print it. And then I want to put a period at the end. And then I want to say the new word is, again with a space, run program. The original words are mother and board. The new word is motherboard. See, if we don't put the spaces in there, and we just say, I want to put an and in between them, now it's one long word called mother and board. So you got to use the spaces inside the quotes to say, I literally want you to put a space before the and after the and. I literally want you to do that when you print it. So that way it prints out correctly. This is a good place to come back and practice. Concatenation. Slide 4. Look at the code. The name Augusta, we wrote this earlier, first name, middle name, last name. But we want to print that. So it says use concatenation, print the last name, comma, first name. We want to print Loveless Augusta. So can we do that with the print statement? And this is good for you to practice as well. Print, and I'm going to print last name, plus I need to put a comma, plus I want to print first name. Right? That's what it wants. The last name, a comma, and the first name. So I have to tell it, actually print a comma. But look, it's kind of together. Usually you want a space after. So give me a comma and a space. How about that? Comma, space. Oh, that's better. Loveless, comma, space, Augusta. Great. You just figured out concatenation. See, we want a space in between there, not just right up against the comma. So yes, this is a great thing to come practice because we're going to do this a lot in our programs this year. So make sure you can write this code right here. Give it a shot. Come to page 4 to this Python guided activity and practice this. All right, let's go to page 5. I'm going to run out of time. The word motherboard is not very long or complicated, but there may come a time when you're dealing with a large string of information and you just need to pull up specific parts. Well, we can do that. If we want to pull out one specific character, we need the index position. The index position. It's like we assign each letter an index. And here's one thing. Python starts counting with 0. Python starts counting with 0. So if we have this word motherboard right here in 3, and I say the character that is in index 0, what we would call the first character in motherboard would be M, but Python calls that the 0 character. Look, when we run this, the character in index 0 is M, because it counts at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 0 to 10, we count 1 to 11. So we have to remember Python counts differently. Let's look at the next one here. The character in index 8. So what do we think is going to print as the 8th character? The index 8. It's not the 8th character because it doesn't start counting at 1. So let's see if we can guess. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So mother has 0 through 5. 6, 7, 8 should be the letter A. Let's see if that's what prints. It is. It's an A. So this is how an index works. I use the variable name, word 3, and these square brackets. The square brackets, and inside the square bracket, I tell it which index I want to use. Let me go and say index 3. Give me the index 3 character. 0, 1, 2, should be an H. It is. It's the H. What if I say index 11? Gives an error. There's 11 characters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But Python counts from 0 to 10. There's not an 11th one. I got an error, an index error, because there is no number 11. There's only 10, which is a D in Word, which is those two put together. All right. Using indexing, print the initials of the name Augusta Ada Lovelace. So it should read the initials are AAL. So we've got the initials R. We need to print AAL with a period after it. A, Augusta. That's going to be first name index 0, right? Because that's the 0 character in first name. Plus, I want to print middle name character 0 of that because I want the very first character there. Plus, I want to print last name. Oh, I didn't put a plus. I put an equals. Index 0 plus. But I need to get this period at the end. Say plus. What happened? Plus quote, period, quote. I say literally print that. And I can put a space there just to make it read better, but Python doesn't care. Let's run it. The initials are AAL period. Just indexing. Give me the first character of each string. 0, 0, 0. All right, let's get to the last page. We only got 4 minutes of class left. Slicing strings. We can pull out a group. Instead of just pulling out one, we can save it as a variable. Word 3, give me 1 to 6. Now 6 means stop there. So I'm going to skip down to the Python guide activity because we're running out of time. Using our motherboard word, and word 4 is going to be a variable where I save characters 1 through 6. But here's how it works. Start at 1, but stop when you get to 6. I don't want 6. Don't give me 6. I don't want that. That's where I want you to stop. That's the first character I do not want. So it's just going to do characters 1 through 5, which means this is character 0. It's going to start with the O. And it's going to stop when it gets to 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 6th one, so it'll stop. It won't print the B. Let's run this. The new word is other. It just prints characters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this explains it right down here. Like I say, in the interest of time, I need to get the second one here. Now we want 7 through 10. What is 7 through 10 going to be? Take a guess. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is it going to print the D? That's the 10th one. No, it just prints 7, 8, and 9 because we told it stop when you get to 10. Stop. Don't print 10. The new name is, they want us to make a new name called Audelace using the AU, the DA, and the lace. So let's see if we can do that forward at a time. So I want from Augusta, I just want the AU, first name, and I want, oh wait, I didn't want squiggly brackets. Let me look back here again. We use square brackets. First name, square brackets. Start with the very first character, which is 0, and stop when you get to the G. I do not want the G, so I don't want the second one. Oh, I don't want to put it up there. Boop. Sorry, wrong thing. Put it back down here. Second one. And then concatenate that with DA. So I want middle name, concatenate the DA. So I start with the first one and stop with the third one because there's not a third one. I wonder if that's going to create an error. We'll see. Plus, I want lace. So last name, start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Give me 4, 5, 6, 7. Stop when it gets to 8. Add input. Wait a minute. Are we calling an actual function? Did I forget something? Oh, I put a squiggly. I put a squiggly. Now let's try it. There it is. Audelace. The new name is Audelace. 0 to 2, 1 to 3, 4 to 8. And use the square brackets. All right. Let's look at the assignment this week. It's just a 5-question quiz. And the first one's true or false. To assign a value to a variable, an equal sign must follow the variable. True or false? Which one of these is in camel case? Which is the correct format to assign this variable? How do I pull out ERF? And what's it called when multiple characters are pulled out from a string? So, all right, 5 questions. Go back into the lesson and practice those Python guided activities. Learn how to slice, learn how to index, learn how to assign a variable. Practice that, and we'll see you guys next time. It is an A-Day Friday, so if you need help with anything or your grade's too low because you didn't get your program in,